Hello students, welcome back to 2D video game design. Today we're going to work on adding a title screen that will allow us to start the game as well as end the game. So I'm going to go ahead and make a brand new scene for my game, and the way that I do that, I'm going to go into my scenes folder. I'm just going to right click and create a new scene. There it is. There it is, and I will call this one the menu screen. Now, a lot of times when you start making a project, one of the things that you can overlook is naming your scene. So I named my scene main game. This is something that you may want to do. We're going to be referencing the name of this scene later on, so you might want to make sure that this is a name that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my menu screen. I've got this nice blank screen here. And the first thing I want to do is create an empty game object that's going to hold all of my menu items. And I'll just call this my main menu. It's just an empty game object. And now I'm going to make a new UI element on top of that. Let's go ahead and make a text element. And now notice here that since I've created this, it created the canvas, the text, and the event system all on top of each other. If you do it some other way, sometimes the event system doesn't show up, and so you'll have to go in and add that manually. But this is how I have it set up, and it automatically generates that. Now, quick reminder, when I make a UI, the UI is generated on this canvas, which is enormous. And so if I zoom out, way out here, there's my new text right there. So I'm just going to take this text and I'm going to call this title text. And it is just going to be my arcade game. So let's go ahead and change the color on this. Let's make that, I will make it red, bright red. And let's make the font size big. Stretch it out a little bit so we can see it. Arcade game, and I'm going to move this so it's centered right there on the anchor. So let's go ahead and create some buttons here. So I'm just going to right click on the canvas because I want it to be parented to the same canvas, and I'm going to create a button. And let's go ahead and we'll just move this down a little bit. I'm going to call this the start button. Now, I'd like to change the text of this button, and this is a little unintuitive, but the button automatically has some text with it. So I can change this now to start button text. And the text on here is going to be start. Now, while I'm at it, the start button has some properties that I can mess with. So I can use an image for the button if I want this to look a little different. I can change the color of this, so I can say that I want this to be bright red, and then when it's highlighted, I want it to turn bright green. And these are design choices that you guys can mess with here. Now I'm going to go back to the canvas and let's add another UI button. And I'm going to move that down here below. And we'll call this the quit button. And just like that, I'm going to go to the text and we'll call that quit button text. And let's go ahead and make this match. We'll make this bright red, and then the highlighted color will be bright green. Okay, so now if I play this, I should see some interaction with these, my arcade game, and if I mouse over them, you see it turns green. Then I can click it. When I click it, it turns white because that's the pressed and selected disabled color. Anyway, that's all well and good, but now what I want is to actually have this do something. So let's go ahead and go into my scripts. I'm going to create a brand new C# script, and I'm going to call this the menu controller. Now I want to put the menu controller on my parent object, which would be my main menu object that's holding all of the other objects. Opening up Visual Studio. Okay, so here's my menu controller. Now, for this one, I'm actually going to create my own new method. So public, make sure that this is a public method, otherwise nothing's going to be able to access it. Void, because it doesn't return anything. And I'm going to make a button called Play Game. Now, when I do play game, all I want it to do is to start the next scene. So in order to do that, we're going to use the Scene Manager. However, the Scene Manager is part of a different library, so I do need to make sure to go and import the library. Going all the way up to the top, I'm going to say using, it's a part of the Unity engine, .scene management. Now, once I say that I'm using scene management, I can just say get the scene manager dot load scene, and then right here I'm just going to use a string value to tell it which scene to load. I want to load main game. Gonna push Control S to save it. And now I'm going to go back here, and I'll just tell you guys right now, this is not going to work, but I'll show you why. Let's push play. Okay, so it's looking good right now, but if I push start, it doesn't do anything. So the reason for that is because I haven't added the scene to my build settings. So right now we've only done games that had one scene in them. So it doesn't actually know that I'm going back and forth between the two scenes. So in order to fix that, I'm just going to add the scene, go to your build settings, file, build settings, and right here, the first thing that I see are the scenes. I can move this over here and I can go over to scenes and I can just say, first I have my menu screen and then I have my main game. So now that I've got my script all together, what I need to do is tell my button that when you click on it to use the play game function that I've created. So if we go to the start button, we'll scroll down a little bit and we'll see that I have this on-click function. And what this is saying is whatever a function I put right here, that's what's going to run when this button gets clicked. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. And right here, it's saying what object has the script that has the function. So the object that has the script is the main menu item. So I'm going to grab this main menu object and drag it in right there. And the main menu, I'm going to go down here and it's saying, okay, where should I find that function? Well, it's in my menu controller script. And within my menu controller script, I have play game. So now this should work. Let's go ahead and push play. Oh, you know what? I did all of that while the game was playing. So let's go ahead and go back to start button. And you see list is empty because the game was actually playing when I did that. So let's do it again. Main menu and menu controller, play game. Okay, so now this should work. There we go. So now I'm in my game and I can continue to play. And I'm dead. Now the next thing that we want to have happen is I want to be able to go from my main game back to my start screen. So I'm going to add a very simple way of getting back to the main game. I'm going to go back to my scripts and I'm going to go to my player controller. And if I go right here, here's the script that we did last time, where if I am powered up, I destroy the enemy. But if I'm not powered up, I get destroyed. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a line right here. Okay, but before I can do this, I need to say that we're allowed to use the scene manager. So I need to go all the way back up. And I need to say using Unity Engine dot scene management. Okay, go back down. And now I'm going to say scene manager dot load scene. And my scene was called, let's jump back so I can make sure I get the name correct, menu screen. Okay, Control S to save. And now let's go back to Unity. Let's play the game. Okay, let's go ahead and start the game, and I can move around. This is good. And then if I die, I go back to the arcade game screen. Now I can start it, and I can just keep on going back so I can play this game over and over and over again. Okay, so I had to stop recording and restart again. So quick public service announcement. I made a mistake that I shouldn't have made. When you switch between scenes, you will get asked if you want to save it. If you switch between scenes without saving, you will lose all of your changes. So right now I'm gonna push Control S to save my scene, and I see my menu screen right here doesn't have that asterisk anymore, but I'm just gonna demonstrate. If I move it just a little bit, and then if I go to scenes and I say, well, I want to switch to the main game, it'll say, do you want to make any changes? Your changes will be lost if you don't save them. So just be careful with that. This is a quick way to lose a whole bunch of work. So now let's go ahead and get our quit button working. I'm going to go back to my scripts and I'm going to open up my menu controller again. And then just like the other one, I'm going to make a new method, public void quit game. And all I have to do here is tell it to quit. And the way I do that is by saying application dot quit. Control S to save that. And then let's go back into our scene. Going to the quit button, I want to say on click, I'm gonna add something, give it the main menu object, and tell it, go to the menu controller, quit game. Okay, quick note, if I hit quit here, it won't actually do anything. And I'm actually still in my game and it's not quitting. And the reason for that is that the quit function in Unity will only work when your game is finished and compiled and ready to be distributed. So if I were to publish this game, that quit button would work. However, I do want to see if the quit button is working within the game before I try to publish it. So what I'm going to do is go to my menu controller, and I'm just going to put a debug here. And just say, quitting the game. That way I can see if that function is actually running. So let's go ahead and push play to test. Okay, there's my console. And pushing start opens this up, and then I'm back here, and then when I push quit, it does say quitting the game, so that's working.